I've always tried to stay on the straight and narrow. But, you know, the world is full of distractions and temptations. One day you look around and you find you've wandered way off track. Every now and then you need someone to help you find the way forward. That's what the chosen ones do. They help the faithful get back on track, get back to the path, or find them a new way. One of those people was named Hussein ibn Ali, and his sacrifice to keep his religion on the right path is remembered every year by millions around the world. Christians believe Jesus was chosen by God to show the new way forward. The Shia denomination in Islam has a similar origin. It stems from the life and death of a man called Hussein ibn Ali. I've come to London, one of the world's great cultural crossroads, to meet with members of the Shia community and to learn the story of their chosen one. I'm here to witness the holiest night in Shia Islam, Ashura, the night that commemorates Hussein's violent death almost 14 centuries ago.
So here we are. There's the mosque.
It's kind of exciting sounding.
Well, it's the busiest night in many ways.
With me is historian of Islam, Sajjad Rizvi.
It doesn't matter how irreligious you are, you always turn up on Ashura night.
You do?
So tonight we're commemorating the day on which Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet, was martyred in Karbala. And it's his sacrifice and martyrdom that we're commemorating tonight.
All right, what are we hearing right now?
Now you're hearing the salutations on Hussein and his companions who were martyred with him. You often say that, you know, oh, if only we were there with you, Hussein, we would have sacrificed ourselves with you as well.
We are commemorating the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, which took place some 14 centuries ago. It was the confrontation between truth and falsehood. It was the challenge between justice and injustice. It was a challenge between light and darkness.
As the evening builds, the mosque becomes more and more crowded. Thousands of people cram in. So I asked Sajjad to take me somewhere quieter to explain why Hussein is their chosen one and why his death means so much to them.
So on this particular day in 680, there was a conflict in which there was Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, and the forces of the person who declared himself as Caliph, Yazid. When Yazid took power, he was not really pretending to be a moral figure who was standing in the place of the Prophet. Whereas Hussein is trying to adhere to the values of his grandfather, of Islam as an equalizer in which no person of a particular race or tribe has precedence over another.
What happened to Hussein was that there was a...
Yes, but
not even fighting.
It was a much greater force, from 5,000 to 30,000 men, against a band of men who were traditionally held to be 72. It's not a fair fight. After they were killed, they were beheaded. In most cases, the bodies were dismembered. In Hussein's own case, at the end is full of arrows. He falls from the horse, but it takes him a while to fall because the arrows are standing between him and the ground. Hussein's sisters, his wives, after their tents are burnt, they're taken as prisoner and taken to walk all the way to Damascus, to the court of Yazid.
This tragic event was one of the reasons for the split in Islam between the Sunnis, who remained aligned with the caliphate that followed from Yazid, and the Shia, who swore their allegiance to Hussein. And on the night of Ashura, they mourned his death.
People will stand up with swords and with bugles. And the whole idea is it's supposed to evoke in the mind the battle scene. You have the beating of the chest to have a sort of a cathartic sense of feeling what Hussein felt, sharing in his passion.
Much like Christians turn the sadness and suffering of Jesus' death into a celebration that brings their community together, Shia Muslims come together at Ashura to celebrate the values of justice, truth, and peace that they believe Hussein died for. In fact, Shia around the world are spreading the message of Hussein beyond their community, organizing peaceful marches, hoping to bring the world together in a time that is as fractured as Hussein's was.
Wars are everywhere. And if we listen carefully to Al-Imam Hussein and Jesus Christ and Moses and all the prophets in history, we should be ashamed of ourselves that we let wars tear apart our societies and communities as human beings.
Christians remember the sacrifice of Christ once a week in Holy Communion. For the Shia, their remembrance of the death of Hussein climaxes once a year on Ashura. Their emotional mourning and physical suffering is an echo of what he experienced for them some 1,500 years ago. He is their chosen one, the one who stood up for their beliefs, no matter what the cost. Remembering Hussein and sharing his suffering is how they stayed true to his vision of Islam.